What kind of games you been playing recently?
I've been going through Sekiro again.
What's Sekiro like?
It's really difficult, and in order to play well, you have to really learn the game's mechanics and the rhythm of its combat.
Yeah,
And like...
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say I'm currently on day 2 of fighting one of the endgame bosses, the Demon of Hatred.
Wow, day 2?
Yeah, day 2. He's like the sort of last boss before the game's official final boss, but in my opinion, he's the real final boss of the game. Because, I mean, you don't have to really even fight him, and in a lot of ways, he's more difficult than the game's actual final boss.
Why? What makes the Demon of Hatred so difficult?
It's like Ishin Ashina is the final enemy of Sekiro. And he's difficult because with the Demon Bell on, he can two-shot you, and he has like 1 instant kill attack if it lands, where the Demon of Hatred has about 3 of 4 instant kill attacks that it can and will spam.
So, like, the danger of the Demon of Hatred is that it has more opportunities to instantly kill you for a mistake.
Yeah, it has like 3 health bars, massive HP pool too.
Oh, so like, it's a battle of attrition, basically?
Yeah, I think in order to beat it, I'm going to have to play perfectly.
So, what's the Demon of Hatred's story? Why would you fight him?
The Demon of Hatred was actually one of Sekiro's closest allies. Start of the game has you getting your arm lopped off, then waking up with this prosthetic, and it's this sort of curmudgeonly one-armed old man who gave it to you after saving your life.
And he's the one who turns into the Demon of Hatred?
Yeah, you sort of awaken to find him sculpting these really frightening statues of Buddha, and he's known as the sculptor for most of the game. And he was this sort of really renowned shinobi in his day, but now is kind of this sad old man sitting in an abandoned, dilapidated temple, carving wrathful Buddhas.
So why does he turn into the Demon of Hatred then?
Depending on how you play the game, you can learn more about his backstory, and it's kind of really tragic because he has this kunoichi he loved, and they used to practice shinobi techniques together in the underside cliffs of Ashina. But I believe she's killed by this sort of humongous ape you fight later in the game. So it's implied he went into a kind of despair-induced killing frenzy, and that Ishin Ashina cut his arm off to prevent him from becoming Ashura.
And Ashura is like what the Demon of Hatred becomes.
Yeah, like when the sculptor becomes the demon, he has this sort of massive hulking arm made out of fire, and even perfectly deflecting it leaves damage because I play without Kuro's charm, which means guarding instead of deflecting perfectly equals damages. So that like speaks to his power as a demon, that even perfectly deflecting him equals damage. And the word Shura repeats throughout Sekiro at pivotal moments. There's this bit early in the game, right about where you fight the demon. This old woman kind of warns you that the demon is coming and that Sekiro is the only one who can kill him. I think in Hinduism and Buddhism there's Asura, who are like wrathful gods, and there's the word Kushura from Sanskrit that means demon. The tragedy is Sekiro has to kill this demon who saved him. So he kind of saves him back by mercy, killing him. And like I think there's parallels in reality between a game like Sekiro and real life, because I think we all deal with that experience of what the game calls Shura. Like I just had a really stressful week, so I thought I'd relax and play Sekiro, only to decide to fight the Demon of Hatred. And it kind of made me think of a hard week, like a grueling boss. Sometimes you just want to give up, but you can't.
Right, so what's your kind of take on that mythology of someone becoming a demon?
I actually find it to be frighteningly relevant. I mean, whether or not you believe in the supernatural, anyone with experience with violence knows that some people really enjoy it. And that's kind of what the game warns about, is the becoming of a demon drunk on death. And the arm of the Demon of Hatred being fire sort of represents hatred and pain replacing what we lost.
Oh, I like that. Pain and hatred replace what we used to have. That's a good way to describe becoming a demon. What else has spoken to you about that?
We were talking about Dune 2 earlier. There's this part where Stilgar tells Paul not to listen to the Jinn, the desert devils. He warns Paul not to be possessed by them, so you get the impression even thousands of years into the future there's still this faith surrounding evil and its presence and this acknowledgement of demons.
And that kind of speaks to the timeless nature The battle between good and evil?
Yeah, it does. It's like even thousands of years into humanity's future, we'd still be contending with demons, whether that's as supernatural forces or people behaving like that Fade who has about zero regard for life. And you sort of wonder if it's going to be like that till Judgment Day, like we'll always be burdened by the same problems plaguing people.
Do you believe in the supernatural reality of demons?
I think when a person says they're dealing with demons, you can either look at that metaphorically or you can look at it literally. And I think the rational mind might prefer the former because it renders the latter inert. But if you're to seriously consider the idea some kind of spectral, otherworldly entity could want to do us harm, then that becomes a frightening proposition because there's no acknowledged way to deal with demons now.
In shamanistic cultures, they'd have like witch doctors, right? It'd be the job of the shaman to exorcise demons.
So when you look at the demon of hatred, you see how there's this painful desire for hatred to replace the happiness of love that he lost. And like maybe that's how a lot of demons come into being, is they lose something and they turn into a demon whose strength is the hatred that replaced their love.
And while they may be very strong, a demon's strength is also the source of its pain. By killing the demon of hatred, Sekiro can free Ashina from his curse.
Yeah, and that seems to be one of the messages of Sekiro is don't be consumed by Shura, don't be consumed by hate. Sekiro is given the same choice too, and the player can choose the Shura ending if they want, but maybe that's the whole point. It's a choice to become a demon. So like maybe that's why our ancestry across humanity always warned against bad spirits, and maybe we in modernity have kind of lost that. It's a part of our language that we don't speak anymore, so we've lost the words to express it.
But bit by bit, we can build up that language with words like Shura that give a name to these unseen forces that invisibly act on our lives in malice.
Yeah, and maybe Sekiro shows us that compassion and mercy prevent us from becoming Shura. Good bit to end on, eh?
Yes, may we all escape the temptation to give in to Shura, ladies and gentlemen of the simulation. Until next time, farewell.
Cheers.